Seeded Thornton Academy Golden Trojans hosting the 5-seed Marshwood Hawks. I'm Cole Purvis alongside Troy Bulldog here on TATV. Zach Tarenko has ridden off into the sunset, so
Yes,
we got the new crew here on TATV. Troy, this game very close in the regular season. Marshwood came out with a win by 1 goal. That was 11-10. But it was early in the year, so what do you expect today from these two teams as they fight to advance in the playoffs?
I would expect a good game. I think they're both going to compete. I mean, like you said, there was a close game the last one, 11-10. This is the playoffs now, so more on the line. I think we got a good one for us tonight, or today, I should say.
That game was on April 25th, and it put TA at a record of 1-2 at the time, so not a great start to their season, but they have certainly bounced back. They've won 7 out of their last 8 coming in to this quarterfinal round. They beat Scarborough in the preliminary round in a dominant 11-3 win after a 10-4 regular season for the Trojans. And it's been the Morgan Bulldog show all year long, but they've definitely come around on defense a little bit more. Amelia Benoit being one of their star 2A players as well as a midfielder. So we'll see who steps up today for the Trojans and what Marshwood can do to counter that.
Sponsorship policies and encourage you at all times to support your athlete in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. Here tonight
for Marshwood, they finished the regular season at 9-5, and just like TA, dominated their preliminary matchup in a 17-7 win versus Sanford.
Yeah, in that game, Thoreau, one of their best players, had 6 goals, and another one of their great players, Young, had 5 goals.
Playing defense is sophomore number 5, Lana Emery.
So we're going to have to be watching out for both of them in this game.
Number 8, Kaylee Donovan. Playing midfield, junior number 9, Elle McDaniel. Starting at midfield, a senior number 11, Lindley Dory. Playing defense, a senior number 13, Olivia Holt. Starting at midfield, a junior number 14, Hadley.
The winner of this game will play the winner of the other A quarterfinal game. That is number 9 Chevres versus number 1 Kennebunk. And Kennebunk, one of the best teams nationally ranked in the country, just ran through everybody in Class A this year. So we would expect that to be Kennebunk in the Class A semifinal. So the winner of this game will have their work cut out for them in the next round. As our athletic director, Mr. Stevens, announcing the starting lineups for each teams, you'll see Sophia Auger starting in goal today. She's a freshman goaltender for the Trojans. Didn't start most of the regular season. That job was given to Jasmine Goff, a senior, but it looks like they made a switch here in the playoffs, and Auger played very well versus Scarborough, only allowing 3 goals. And we want to thank you all for watching. Cole Purvis and Troy Bullock, Josh Pulsifer on tech and camera today.
Starting on defense is senior number 14, Claire Heidelbaugh.
It's been a great week or so of playoff action here with Spring Sports. The boys lacrosse team, they will play tomorrow at 1 o'clock versus the Gorham Rams. We'll have that game streamed for you right here on TATV just about 24 hours from now, so tune in for that. And then the baseball team got a win yesterday versus Gorham as well. They will play tomorrow in the Class A regional semifinal.
Your clock operator is Mr. Agresti. Your certified athletic trainer in attendance is Tony Giordano, ladies and gentlemen.
And we'll now pause for the national anthem here at Hill Stadium.
And gentlemen, please move your hats to honor America during the playing of our national anthem.
great weather for this game here in Saco. That was not the case the last game, as it was raining off and on in that game versus Scarborough. But a nice sunny day today. And that does mean the game clock will be a little bit difficult to see today with the sun. So we'll try and keep you updated on how much time is left in the halves. Girls lacrosse, different than boys lacrosse, there are not quarters, there's two 25-minute long halves.
As we've previously alluded to, we're going to have to keep an eye out on their star player, Sarah Thoreau. She had 72 goals this season, which is just under 5 goals per game.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder that the Thornton Academy boys lacrosse program will be playing its Class A state quarterfinal tomorrow at 1 o'clock when it hosts the Gorham Rams. Thornton Academy baseball also advanced to the
Mr. Stevens running through the future playoff matchups here that we just talked about a couple minutes ago. Softball team was eliminated by number 2 seeded Wyndham yesterday. They got one playoff win but couldn't advance any further. Baseball team won 8-1 yesterday. I was at that game. They played very well. A lot of timely hits. A near home run by Jake Fish that landed just short of over the fence. And Morgan Bolduc and Sarah Terrialt will meet at midfield for the face-off. TA going right to left on your screen, Marshwood left to right. They'll drop the ball and we're underway. And Marshwood controls the opening face-off. Trying to control this time of possession early here in this first half. Here's Lindley Gorey, number 11 for Marshwood. Staying patient so far. She's got Bolduc on her, who's giving her plenty of space to work. Here's Terrialt, tries to spin inside. Good pass inside and a shot and score. That's Hadley Pruitt getting Marshwood on the board first here.
Not the start TA was looking for. You know, TA has won every game they've held opponents to less than 8 points. So if they're going to want to win, they're going to have to lock up.
Just 42 seconds into this game, Marshwood, good efficiency on offense to start. This might be one of the closer games we see the TA girls lacrosse team play all year. Face off up in the air, a loose ball, some bodies on the ground, and Emma Bussenot will pick it up, and the first possession for the Trojans. Here's Natalie Hilton, who had 3 goals in the preliminary round win.
That is Pruitt from Terrio at 41 seconds.
Skips one off of the shin of Bussenot, who picks it up. Girls lacrosse, we've said this in every broadcast so far, but it's all about speed. Not really a ton of hitting like there is in boys lacrosse. Bolduc moving left to right, shoots, and a good save. Morgan Bolduc stopped on her first shot attempt by Lauren Walker, the goalkeeper for the Hawks. Here's a good pass. Marshwood working in transition. Eva Hersey attacking towards the net, and she'll work behind the cage. Two teams with very defined roles on offense. For Marshwood, Sarah Terrialt is their main scorer, and for Thornton Academy, that's Morgan Bolduc. Very clear who the 2 stars are on both teams. That pass inside ricochets off of a couple of players and scooped up by Auger in goal for the Trojans.
Yeah, in total this season, Marshwood has scored 197 goals, including their last matchup in the playoffs. And they've allowed 128, so pretty good differential there.
Here's Hilton looking to get TA back into their offensive zone. Gets through a couple of defenders. Busanold up top at the 25. Coach Craig Agresti and Bob Davies working this offense for the Trojans. Davies does a lot of work on offense. Coach Agresti works more with the defense. Busanold still with possession. Patiently controlling it around the net. Finds Hilton. Tries to find a better angle, shoots, and couldn't get enough velocity on that shot. And it's another stop for Marshwood, who's looked very good on defense so far. Here's Lindley Gorey feeling pressure, fires a long pass, and that's a dangerous pass that's going to be picked up by Rachel Melendi. And a foul on Marshwood, it'll be TA ball. Here's Morgan Bolduck working inside, feeling a lot of pressure, got 4 defenders around her, and finally a foul called. And she will have a free position attempt here up top. He's so crucial in girls lacrosse. Great opportunity for TA to strike and even this game. Bolduck shot right off of the chest of the goalkeeper, and she's been denied a couple times now. Foul called on TA. They'll make Marshwood come back to where the foul was committed. The 4-5 matchup in Class A lacrosse. No north and south in either boys or girls lacrosse. It's all one region. Work it over the far side here to Madison Poitras. Poitras to Isabel Young. Young will circle back to the top. Terriot will control with Hannah Cook right in her face. Terriot working inside. Good job by Cook shutting her off there. See, Coach Agresti gets way down on that near side here, almost towards the end zone to communicate with his defense. Aaron pass there, scooped up. Terriot falls over. Scooped up again by Marshwood. Trying to find the best shot that they can get. No need to force anything here early. And that pass is deflected away by Busanold. Good play defensively, but TA can just not get possession right now. Here's Young, who had 5 goals in the prelim round. That offensive explosion for Marshwood. Looking to find an angle. Eva Hersey now. Circle around the cage. Long time of possession here for Marshwood. These are the kind of momentum swinger possessions. If they can finish this off with a goal, be really effective. As a foul called. And free position attempt upcoming. Here's Hadley Pruitt, who had the first goal. And they'll call another foul on the Trojans, so they'll do it again. Pruitt from about the 16-yard line attacks the goal, gets inside, shoots and scores, puts it right over the top of Sophia Auger. She has both goals already for Marshwood.
Long time of possession on that one, so Marshwood's glad they could get a goal for that. Very patient on that possession for sure.
Pruitt, not one of their main goal scorers, but has certainly taken over so far in this first half with 2 goals. In girls lacrosse, it's typical to have your best offensive player and top goal scorer take the face-offs. That's the case here with Bulldog and Terriel.
Marshwood goals for number 14, Hadley Pruitt.
And here's Amelia Benoit, her first touch.
5 seconds of the first half.
Had a very good game, especially defensively versus Scarborough. Coach Agresti says she's one of their top defensive players. Bulldog back up top to Bussenholt. Again, the winner of this game will likely play Kennebunk in the Class A semifinals for a right to go to the state championship at Fitzpatrick Stadium.
Looked like Bosino may have gotten hit on that play, looking at the ref for a call, but didn't get it.
Here's Pruitt, a couple nice moves as she brings it back into Marshwood zone. And a hack by TA there. And Emma Bussenholt will go to the penalty box, or penalty chair, actually. Here's Pruitt. They'll start the man up here for Marshwood. Looking to make it 3-0. I think you'll see here a lot of what you saw on those last couple possessions. A lot of patience from Marshwood. Big opportunity to gain a lead here early. Inside and an errant pass. Looks like it's going to stay on this side. Trying to feed Madison Poitras on the doorstep, but couldn't handle the ball. Here's Poitras behind the net as play resumes. Terriel attacks. And TA having a tough time keeping their hands off of these Marshwood offensive players here. Terriel with a free position attempt on the far side. Shoots and bounces one right off the post. Unlucky there for Marshwood and fortunate for TA, but it bounces right back to Lindley Gorey. Inside, here's Pruitt, shut off. Good deflection by TA, but Terriel able to gain possession inside. You see a lot. The most effective shots can be those skip shots that just bounce right at the feet of the goalie. So difficult to stop. Terriel, free position attempt, and it's turned away nicely by Auger. Good save. That'll roll out of bounds and stay on this end of the field. Bussenholt will come out of the penalty box, and we're all evened up. Inside a shot and another good save by Auger. Couple good saves there. TA stands their ground on defense. A foul called on Marshwood, and finally TA is going to get this ball back.
What a possession from Auger there. She had probably 4 stops on just this possession alone, including at least 2 from Thoreau, their best player.
Freshman goalie coming to play here in these playoffs. Hilton weaving through the defense. She'll back it out. A lot of strong seniors on this TA team. Morgan Bolduc, who surpassed 100 goals earlier in this season, and we estimate she's around 130 or 140 goals in her career, which is a remarkable number.
Most in program history.
Bussenolt's shot is right into the net of the keeper, Lauren Walker. TA's gotten 4 or 5 shots so far, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard as Bolduc commits the foul. A little too aggressive on the swipe there. And she will head to the infamous penalty chair. Cross-field pass to Hersey. Hersey over to Terriel. A lot of room to work with. Good pass inside. Here's Poitras with a shot, and it's deflected before he could even get to the net. Amelia Benoit out of the pack with it, and ahead to Ayla Littlefield. TA trying to get numbers. Good job catching up by Pruitt there. Knocks it away from Littlefield for a second. Bobbled. And a foul called there. Two nothing Marshwood in the early going here. Here's Bussenald on the near side. Puts a spin on her defender. They'll bring it back up to looks like that'll be a penalty on Marshwood, so the first man-up chance for TA. Already 3 penalties in this game, so not a very clean start here in the first half. Either team able to take advantage of their opportunities on those penalties so far, though. TA can look to be the first to do that here. Bussenalt moving to her right. Inside. And a correction, it's actually not a man up for TA because Morgan Bolduc's still in the penalty box. But once she gets out, TA will have some time with an advantage. Bolduc back on and they'll get it to her. Finds Littlefield. Shut off nicely. Gets it back to Bolduc. And she's interfered with. Golden opportunity for TA to get on the board here. Morgan Bolduc from the top. Fires an underhand shot and skips it right past Walker. And it's 2-1. Morgan Bolduc doing what she does, getting on the board early.
TA hoping that will act as an icebreaker and get them started on something here. Bolduc had 3 goals the last time Marshwood played TA, so looking to build off that last performance and keep going.
And 3 goals, as impressive as that sounds. Normally she scores more. That's one of her lower scoring games of the season. Gets up into the 5 and 6 range a lot of the time. We'll see how much face-offs have an impact on this game. Bulldogs won 2 out of the first 3 face-offs. And a false start on Marshwood, so it'll be granted TA ball. Bulldog looking to get into a groove here, make it 2 in a row.
That's Bulldog unassisted at 15:05.
Bulldog puts a move on Terriot, slips down, and a good defensive play by Marshwood, but it's now into the stick of Bussenholt. Little miscommunication on defense here for Marshwood. Not knowing who they have. TA remaining patient. Bussenholt with Terriot on her. Whoever Terriot is guarding is having a tough time getting past her. And there's a nice poke by Terriot, and it's grabbed by Hersey, and here comes Marshwood. Poitras will pick it up. Puts a nice move on Hannah Cook. Marshwood's got numbers. Poitras inside, and a nice save by Sophia Auger. Looked like a nice transition opportunity for Marshwood. That had been the first time that they had pushed the tempo all game. And Morgan Bulldog goes colliding with Lindley Gorey. And so Marshwood will gain possession here. Here's Pruitt, who has the 2 goals already, gets inside, shoots, and just wide of the net. Good effort defensively here by TA, not letting it slip away early after those 2 early goals by Marshwood. Sophia Auger's done a great job in net. Cook gets hit in the face. Here's Hilton, the burst of speed up to the 15.
Looked like she tried to split 2 defenders there. May have gotten hit.
And for these 2 teams, a berth in the Class A semifinals would be nice, but you have to think how much of a daunting task it would be to face Kennebunk, who both teams were struggled against in the regular season. TA lost 18-3 versus the Rams. If they were to come away with a win in this game, they'd have to make some major adjustments. Try and come out on top. Here's Bulldog inside. Splits a couple defenders, still has it. Bulldog with a nice move. Gets inside, shoots, and turned away.
Impressive effort by Bulldog, but just couldn't quite capitalize there. TA still has possession though.
Just staying on her feet with all those defenders around her, putting pressure. Here's Bulldog. Fires a long pass to Benoit on the doorstep and puts it right into the stick of Lauren Walker. She's been a magnet so far, stopping all but one shot from TA. Here's Terriot. Now over to Pruitt. We kept talking about last game through the rain, how that was going to be a low-scoring game, and it turned out to be fairly high-scoring with TA scoring 11 goals. This game might be the low-scoring one, with both defenses taking command. They'll set a pick for Terriot. Nice play design, and she skips it right past Auger. Came off the screen and put it in the back of the net. 3-1 Marshwood.
As we previously mentioned, Terriot is averaging just under 5 goals per game, so it seemed that it was going to happen at some point.
Marshwood goal scorer number
On the
16,
face-off, it is won
assistant number 11,
by Marshwood.
Time of the goal
Momentum
was
here for Izzy Young.
seconds of the first half. That was Terriot from Gorey at 20-20.
Terriot from Gorey, says Mr. Stevens. That's been their connection all season long. Gorey had 2 assists in the last game. Picks up another one there. Terriot trying to muscle her way inside. Good pass on the doorstep, a shot and another goal. Marshwood's offense coming to life here.
From the freshman, Maeve Long, I believe. She helps Marshwood extend their lead.
Marshwood goals from number 2, Maeve Long. Assistant number 16, Sarah Terriot. Time of goal is 21 minutes 5 seconds.
And a timeout is called here as Coach Agressi will talk things over with his team.
21-05.
Marshwood controlling the time of possession here, and the big thing for TA is that they're not able to get these shots past Marshwood keeper Lauren Walker. And for the Hawks, Hadley Pruitt has 2 goals, Sarah Terriot has 1, and Maeve Long just added the 4th. But it's just like every other sport that has a goalie. Hockey, boys lacrosse. If you run into a hot goaltender at the wrong time, it can end your season, and that could potentially happen here with Lauren Walker having a good first half so far. I want to let you know that tomorrow at 1 o'clock, same time as today, we will have the boys lacrosse Class A quarterfinal matchup. They take on the Gorham Rams. That'll be the 4-12 matchup in Class A.
Might not be quite as good of a matchup as this one, but we'll see.
Definitely intriguing, though, with Gorham having some of their seniors suspended and then ultimately reinstated after they had a scandal there within their program. So it's been a very interesting season, and we'll see if they play with a chip on their shoulder tomorrow. Played very well in an upset win over number 5 Lewiston on the road in the prelims. In boys lacrosse, the top 4 teams get a bye, and TA was just able to sneak in there. Did not have to play in a prelim game. They advance right to the quarterfinals. In girls lacrosse, every team has to play in the prelims except for the number 1 seed. 15 teams make it in. Kenny Bunk with a bye. TA finds themselves in an early hole here. TA trying to avoid getting eliminated on their home turf for the second straight year. Believe they lost in a 4-5 matchup last year. .355 to go in the first half. Trojans trying to go into the break with a couple more goals on the board. Loose ball and good hustle by Marshwood. That's Lindley Gorey picking up the ground ball, and a face-off win for Marshwood. Young working inside, a quick shot, and bounces it right past Auger for another goal. It's 5-1, and Marshwood opening it up here.
Yeah, Isabel Young is a junior, and that is her 38th goal of the season. She has definitely contributed to Marshwood's success.
We've seen a mix-up in strategy on these possessions. Sometimes Marshwood will hold it for a long time and try and get the best look they can. And times like that, when they feel they have momentum and numbers, they'll go a little bit more up-tempo and shoot earlier into the possession. Crucial face-off here for Bulldog. And it's once again won by Marshwood.
Goal is unassisted at 21 minutes, 27 seconds of the first half. That is Young unassisted for the Hawks at 21-27.
TA trying to see what they can do to disrupt this offense. Get the ball back as quickly as they can. Here's a move inside by Pruitt, and she's fouled. This is the mix-up of tempo that we were talking about, this being one of the slower possessions. Pruitt will have a free position attempt from the top. Nice move inside and another goal. The third, it's a hat trick for Hadley Pruitt. The junior midfielder having a great half here for the Hawks.
Marshwood clearly off to a hot start. This is certainly not the way TA wanted it to go.
Six to 1. Certainly a lot more one-sided than the 11-10 victory that Marshwood had in the regular season.
Marshwood goals for number 14, Hadley Pruitt. Time goal
And once again, it'll be Gorey coming out of the pack for Marshwood on these face-offs.
Of the first half, that is Pruitt's third goal of the
That's where height matters in girls lacrosse. That face-off went right up into the air, and Terriel able to use her size to tip it right to her teammate. Here's Young as we approach 90 seconds to go in the first half. Question is, will TA be able to get another possession, let alone goal? Young will cut back. And a takeaway, a nice turnover by Bussenholt. Just what TA needed. Little ankle breaker on the referee there. Here's Hannah Cook. Gives it to Bussenalt over her head. But fortunate for the Trojans, Littlefield there to scoop it up. Having a tough time corralling the ball. .40 seconds to go in the half. Littlefield will control. See who can get open for TA. Littlefield inside, shoots, and it was tipped. A good job defensively. And just a weak shot attempt interfered by a Marshwood defender. And nothing doing there on that possession for the Trojans. Here's Terriot. A lot of pressure by TA, not letting them get back into their zone. Terriot will fire a long pass downfield. And Hannah Cook was there for the Trojans but can't pick it up. And it's Madison Poitras. As time runs out on the first half, a dominant performance by the Marshwood Hawks. They lead 6-1. We'll see how TA responds in the second half. We'll take a break here on TA TV and be back for the last 25 minutes of action.
Hey, Dan. How's that proposal coming?
Just finished. I am sending it right now.
Okay, good. Oh, no. How are we looking for noon? We got like 2 minutes. Dan.
Run over here.
Is this my room? Wow, Dad! Is this your room?
I chose to attend TAMS because it was a change of scenery. It was a much smaller school.
Because of the amazing teachers.
How small it is and the community about it and how everybody knows each other.
You can know all the kids here, so it makes it much more easier to make friends.
They just get you ready for high school.
TAMS is special.
TAMS is amazing.
TAMS is fabulous.
TAMS is fun.
TAMS feels like a family.
Welcome back to Hill Stadium here on this Friday afternoon. The girls lacrosse Class A quarterfinal matchup between the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans and the Marshwood Hawks. Cole Purvis alongside Troy Bulldog and Josh Pulsifer here on TATV. Troy, a dominant first half for Marshwood. What did you see from them, and what do the Trojans need to do to adjust here in the second half?
Well, there was quite the disparity in time of possession between both teams. So I think TA needs to get more opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. And here's a little stat for you. Every game that TA has won, they've scored at least 10 points. And every time they score less than 10 points, they lose. So they're going to have to really turn that offense on if they're going to want to get over that mark with only one goal at halftime.
Marshwood has won the last 4 face-offs. And they will continue that streak here. Teams switch sides of the field, so Marshwood going right to left now. Here's Maeve Long, who had a goal in the first half for Marshwood. Hat trick already for the junior Hadley Pruitt. Sarah Terriot with a goal. Long, as I just mentioned, and Izzy Young as well. The Trojans, the lone goal coming from who else but Morgan Bulldog. Marshwood went 9-5 in the regular season, number 5 seed in Class A. They ended their regular season not on a great note, going 2-3. So they weren't playing their best lacrosse heading into the playoffs, but certainly have turned it on in the first round and here in the first half at TA.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they lost their last 2 regular season games, including an overtime loss to Biddeford. Which is kind of the opposite of the story of TA. They were kind of hot at the end of the season.
Yeah.
As you mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, they won 7 of their last 8, and they've won 3 in a row. They're looking for 4 today if they can rally. So the momentum in terms of the previous games has not impacted at least how this game has gone so far.
Definitely. TA's last loss came to Falmouth, one of the perennial contenders in Class A, and the number 2 seed behind Kennebunk. And we will likely see some long time of possessions here from the Marshwood Hawks as they are in command of this game and don't want to give TA any momentum. Here's a pass in front of the net that's knocked aside by TA. Fight for the ball. It'll roll out of bounds. Olivia Toppin chasing after it with Lindley Gorey. Here's Terriot, their top scorer and best offensive player behind the net. Gets inside on the doorstep, shoots, and a great save by Auger. Ball still on the ground, and it's picked up by Auger, and she will look to clear. TA needs some big stops here. In addition to needing some offense, they can't let Marshwood, you would think, get past 9 or 10 goals. So they've got a lot of work to do on offense. Here's Bussenholt. Again, tune in for our boys lacrosse broadcast tomorrow at 1 o'clock. 4-seeded Thornton Academy Golden Trojans will take on the 12-seed Gorham Rams. TA's quest to get back to the Class A semifinal. They've reached that round almost annually now, but haven't been able to get past Cape Elizabeth. So if they can win tomorrow, they'll get another shot at the Capers, who they lost to twice in the regular season. But neither game was really a blowout, so see if the third time's the charm for the TA boys lacrosse team. Ball knocked around in front of the net, taken away by Benoit. Here's Bulldog surveying the defense. Finds Benoit on a pass. TA TA a little bit hesitant on offense, and you have to give Marshwood credit for stopping them from cutting inside. But just no shots have been easy today for the Trojans. You would think they need some free position attempts here to free up an opportunity to put a good shot on net. Bolduc right into the stick of Terriel. What a play. Sarah Terriel just threw up her stick and took the ball away. Here's Terriel, full head of steam. Finds Poitras on a pass. It's like in basketball when a guy doesn't just block a shot, he'll go up and just catch it.
Yeah, one of those snatch blocks. Takes it all the way up the field.
Here's Poitras, guarded by Claire Heidelbaugh. We mentioned boys lacrosse playoff game tomorrow. The baseball team has a game tomorrow versus, we assume, Falmouth, if Falmouth can take care of business in their game today. That would be the 1-4 matchup. TA looking to pull off the upset. 3 teams remaining in spring sports here. It's been a very fun spring at TA. Had the Monday night graduation this past week. The TAMS graduation last night. Undergrad awards. End of the year, always fun. And senior year coming up for me and Troy.
Yes.
You excited?
I don't know what I am. I've got mixed feelings.
Good pass to Pruitt. Doesn't put a shot on net. A couple of players digging for the ball. Hannah Cook in there for TA. And it'll be a free shot for the Hawks. And that shot is just wide of the net. Tried to skip it past the keeper once again, but doesn't work this time. TA having trouble just picking up the ball here. And they've got a player down on the far side.
Those are the types of mistakes that can't be made by TA right now. They can't even get the ball over the 50-yard line. If they want to compete in this game, they need 6 more goals to take the lead and play good defense at the same time. But you can't score 6 goals if you can't even pass the 50-yard line. They're not getting any opportunities.
Marshwood not looking like the lower seed right now. They've been more aggressive. They picked up every loose ball. Not the best effort by TA's team here this afternoon. Terrialt inside. Puts a shot right on net, and it's 7-1 Marshwood. With 17 minutes to go and possibly 17 minutes left in TA season, as Sarah Terrialt gets on the board for the second time.
Now you're starting to get to a point where it becomes a mental game for TA, as you may be starting to feel a little bit hopeless. But this is still a game. 6 goals, I've seen crazier things happen.
And girls lacrosse, they can come in bursts. The face-offs are everything here. And a different alignment here on the face-off. Oregon Bulldog standing right next to Sarah Terrial.
Marshwood goals for number 16, Sarah Terrial. Time of the goal, 8 minutes.
And a trip
of the second half
by Bussenall on Izzy Young.
That is Terrial with the unassisted goal for the
I'm
Hawks.
excited for the next TATV season. Me and Troy will be announcing most of the games. Might have some other people getting involved as well, and of course Mr. Pulsifer working behind the scenes here on tech and the camera.
Working his magic.
If you ever want to help out, especially on camera, we'd love to have you. As I mentioned, Zach Taranko, his last broadcast the other day, moving on to Quinnipiac University, where he'll be doing many broadcasts in his future. So tune in all year next year. Football games, basketball, hockey, and then lacrosse as well. We are not slowing down here on TATV.
And of course, the Trojan Talk podcast.
Yeah, be on the lookout for the new episode of Trojan Talk, which we just filmed yesterday. It should be out sometime this weekend. We talk about all things TA sports with the playoffs, as well as professional sports, the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals. Talked about the PGA Tour and LIV merging. Talked about Messi going to Miami. So check that out when it's uploaded. Here's Marshwood on the attack.
Yet again, TA can't get over that 50-yard line. Back on defense.
It's just been a slow beat down by Marshwood. Just killing them with this time of possession.
Yeah, no shot clock in girls lacrosse.
Here's Terry Alt from the end zone. There's a nice move put on. And another goal for Marshwood, pouring it on here in the second half. That's Madison Poitras. It was facilitated by Lindley Gorey, who put a nice move on her defender. Passed it right by the crease. And Poitras with a goal for Marshwood.
It's pretty brutal.
Eight goals for the Hawks, 3 by Pruitt, 2 by Terriot, and Long, Young, and Poitras with a goal to add to that, and a timeout is called. And we will take a break here on TATV and see you for the rest of the second half.
Hey, Dan. How's that proposal coming?
Just finished. I am sending it right now.
Okay, good. Oh, no. How are we looking for noon? We got like 2 minutes. Dan.
Run over here.
Is this my room? Wow, Dad! Is this your room?
I chose to attend TAMS because it was a change of scenery. It was a much smaller school.
Because of the amazing teachers.
How small it is and the community about it and how everybody knows each other.
You can know all the kids here, so it makes it much more easier to make friends.
They just get you ready for high school.
TAMS is special.
TAMS is amazing.
TAMS is fabulous.
TAMS is fun.
TAMS feels like a family.
Back here on TATV, Cole Purvis, Troy Bulldog, and Josh Pulsifer bringing you girls lacrosse action in the Class A quarterfinal matchup. Thornton Academy being dominated right now by Marshwood, 8-1. The Hawks pouring it on here, and TA has no answers for Sarah Terriol and company, with only 1 goal on the board I was just looking. TA's season low in goals scored was 3. That was the game, of course, at Kennebunk, when they lost by 15 goals, 8-3. And they still need 2 more goals just to reach that number. So this could be the worst offensive performance of the year for the Trojans. Besides that game, their other low was 7. So by far the worst game in terms of production offensively and scoring goals for the Trojans. Just a shocking score here in the 4-5 matchup.
Yeah, I think I can speak for all of us in this booth that this is certainly a surprising result here. Not expecting this to be a blowout.
They've shut down Morgan Bolduc better than any team so far this season has. And just continuing the dominance here with a face-off win. Sarah Terriot bringing the physicality for Marshwood. You mentioned Trojan Talk. Be on the lookout for that. And I want to talk about something that a report that came out this morning regarding DeAndre Hopkins, who is visiting Foxborough on a free agent visit. Troy, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think there's a real chance that it will happen? Because I don't. I mean, you never know, but I see him going to a contender like Kansas City or Buffalo. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think the Patriots have a real chance?
I think they have a chance. A real chance, I'm not sure. They have a chance, a solid chance at that. You know, you look at teams like Kansas City and Buffalo, yeah, those are both competitive teams, but how are they going to pay for them? They don't have any cap space. DeAndre Hopkins has said multiple times that he wants money. That's what he wants. And the Patriots could give him some money. They have a little bit of cap.
Another goal by Terriot. That was a rocket of a shot. And nothing Sophia Auger can do about that one. And Terriot with a hat trick. 2 players from Marshwood, Pruitt and Terriot, with 3 goals in this game. And TA beginning to empty their bench a little bit, putting some of the underclassmen in here.
I believe that the 2 teams that have at least scheduled a meeting with Hopkins is the Patriots and the Titans. So, I mean, the Titans aren't going to be any better than the Patriots.
There's a lot of noise about the Browns as well.
Yeah, I saw
a couple
that.
days ago, it almost seemed like they were the front runner to land D-Hop. But I don't know about the money.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, you paid Deshaun Watson all that money and gave up, what, 3 first-round picks for him? You're expecting what he was before the suspension.
$220 million guaranteed. It's wild.
He was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, in most people's opinion, before the suspension. I don't see why he can't get back to that with Cleveland, and D-Hop would help a lot. I think the Patriots, if you were to make a top 5 list, they would sneak in there, but I don't know if he even wants the money. I think he would rather play for a contender and win a ring.
I mean, I could see him wanting that. He's got plenty of money in his career. He doesn't have a ring, though.
But it almost does seem too good to be true for a team like Kansas City or Buffalo to land a star like that.
That would just be unfair.
Bolduc, her second goal of the game, and the Trojans desperately needed that. Might be too little too late there, but Morgan Bolduc has 2 goals on the board. Still 12 minutes to go. The other factor in the New England DeAndre Hopkins situation is Bill O'Brien, recently hired as offensive coordinator, and what is their relationship like? There's been some bad reports around their relationship, but I mean, Hopkins had his most productive years under Bill O'Brien, so I think that gets overplayed a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're both adults. They should be able to work it out. I mean, I feel like even Hopkins going and meeting with the Patriots is showing that he is at least open to the idea of a reunion with Bill O'Brien. If he was really like, oh, Bill O'Brien, I can't stand that guy, then he wouldn't have even met with the Patriots at all. So
yep.
I agree with you. I think that's overplayed by the media.
And the Titans, as you said, another team that's visiting with him. They lost A.J. Brown last offseason and essentially replaced him with Traylon Burks, who could have a could have a good NFL career. Don't want to disrespect him. He's a good player, but I think it would be a tall task for him to live up to what A.J. Brown did. And so they've shown a willingness to sign some veteran receivers in the past. They acquired Julio a couple of years ago. I could see them doing the same with D-Hop as a shot.
If I'm D-Hop, I'm looking at how Julio's career went after he joined Tennessee.
That is true.
And I'm saying, I'm going to go play for the GOAT, Bill Belichick. Which, I don't
Bill
know.
Loves
I'm
him.
sure
Bill
you've
loves
seen
him.
the clip. Yes, Bill loves D-Hop, and D-Hop loves Bill.
Yep.
They have a mutual love. That's why he needs to come to New England.
Hilton with a free position attempt and another good save. A lot of credit to Lauren Walker today, the sophomore goalie from Marshwood. Big reason why it looks like they could be moving on here. The other question is, where does Hopkins stand among the best receivers in the NFL? As there's another goal. A hockey assist there. A great pass from Madison Poitras and a quick goal. I believe that was Maeve Long in there. We'll hear from Mr. Stevens in a second. And that likely shuts off any chance of a comeback for TA as Marshwood has reached double digits. So what's your stance on that, Hopkins? Is he a top 10, top 15 receiver? I think the most important thing is that he's still a wide receiver 1. I don't really care where he is in terms of a ranking. He would be the Patriots wide receiver 1, and it wouldn't be close, and that's really all that matters.
No question. I mean, there is concern because he is on the other side of 30, and usually that's when receivers start to decline. But I agree. He would still easily be the wide receiver 1 on the Patriots. And if any team, like the Patriots, if they have the opportunity to improve by bringing in a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, they got to just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't had a real elite receiver in a while, it feels like. Their receiving room has been subpar at best. I remember with Cam Newton a couple years ago, we had Jacoby, but Demir Bird was really like our number 1 receiver.
That's a year you like to forget about.
So
Demir Bird is probably on somebody's practice squad right now.
If that, he may be out of the league now. And Cam is on to Madden. He's streaming Madden as his new career.
Nice. Does he play with himself?
Oh, yes. I remember he is trying to enter the league again. He did that Auburn Pro Day thing this spring, a couple months ago, and he said that he should still be a starting quarterback. He said there's only a couple quarterbacks that he'd be willing to back up. I think he overestimates his abilities. He needs to rewind the tape on that season with New England, and he'll be reminded why he is playing Madden instead of the real game.
Couldn't have said any better. The injuries got to him. The throwing motion was just off in that year with New England. That was the pandemic year. We can forget about that year.
Right.
There's a save by Auger. And let's transition to the NBA Finals. How much have you been watching? What are your thoughts on it? Because I did not watch Game 2, but I watched Games 1 and Game 3. Maybe as somebody who's cheering for the Heat, I should just not watch the games and Miami will win. But I think Denver's upside is just too great.
Yeah, I am the same as you. I watched the first half of Game 1 and I watched the second half of Game 3, which is kind of a random watch pattern, but that's what I did. After the Celtics got eliminated, I'm still a little salty. It is kind of fun to root for Jimmy because he just has so much heart and he wants it so bad, but I don't know if they're going to win. I still think Denver's got it. Know that Drake, he placed a bet, $1 million bet that the Nuggets would win the series, and I think 600,000 maybe 200,000. I'm not even sure. A lot of money that they would win in 5. So we'll see if Drake's prediction is right. Still technically alive as Denver's up 2-1 in the series.
Amelia Benoit with a goal makes it 10-3.
So Drake could get some money, or he could be losing a lot of money. So
2 players that have scored a goal for TA, both seniors, Morgan Bolduc and Amelia Benoit. And you start to wonder what this team's going to look like next year. A lot of seniors graduating. Bolduc, Benoit, Bussenalt. TA will still have Natalie Hilton. Still have Ayla Littlefield.
Thornton Academy goals for number 3, Amelia Benoit. Assistant number 11, Morgan Bolduc. Time of the goal was 18 minutes and 12 seconds.
Here's Bolduc taking it into TA's offensive zone. It's a great career for these seniors. Morgan Bolduc with best moment of her career, surpassing 100 goals earlier in the year. It's right here at home. She also plays basketball as well.
yeah, we got a couple multi-sport athletes here on this lacrosse team. As Hannah Cook will be playing basketball at UNE.
And Morgan Bolduc, as you mentioned, that she'll be playing lacrosse at Assumption, I believe, next year. Okay, Hannah Cook, a great basketball player, sharpshooter for TA's girls basketball team. So their season will wind down here with 5:40 to go. Some younger players into the game here for the Trojans. Harlow O'Leary, a freshman. Ava Libby, a sophomore. Olivia Soroyce, a freshman. Now entering the game, Gabby Dyer, a sophomore. How about hockey, Troy? You watch any of the Stanley Cup Finals?
No. I'm following it loosely,
Shut that
but
down
I
quick.
did not watch. I have not watched any of it at all. I'm not a huge hockey guy. I was watching the Bruins, but after they got eliminated in such a brutal manner, I have not watched a lick of hockey since.
Fair. I watched a little bit of game 1. Florida won on a overtime winner last night. Guy who scored the goal was the same guy who eliminated the Bruins in overtime. That brings back some bad memories. But what Zach said yesterday on Trojan Talk was right. He said don't count Florida out, that they could very easily tie the series up by winning both at home. I didn't think so. I still think Vegas wins in probably 6 games, though.
They're up 2-1, right?
Yep. That's a crazy story. They made the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year as a franchise. I kind of forgot about that until it was mentioned once they got to the Stanley Cup Finals. That's hard to believe. And now they're back in year 6.
Yeah, that's some very impressive feat.
Your first year as a franchise. Then you have some teams that have been around for a long time and have never made it. It's got to be kind of frustrating if you're a fan of one of those teams to watch. Brand new team get there so quickly.
So yeah, Vegas, they're getting a little bit of more sports culture. The Raiders moved there a year or two ago.
Oakland A's might move there.
Yep. Yeah, Oakland's getting left in the dust. Their teams are leaving them for Vegas.
Just need an NBA team now.
Yep. Which LeBron said he would want to be an owner of a team in Vegas. How many more years do you think LeBron will be in the league?
Well, this was a discussion on Trojan Talk yesterday. Definitely think he'll play with Bronny, or at least try to play with Bronny. But I say he goes past 40 for sure. Maybe 41 years old.
That would be pretty cool.
Yep.
For him to play with Bronny.
The conversation was, you know, how much is it going to affect Bronny's draft stock? Obviously it will at some level, but is it going to take him from a fringe first rounder to a top 5 pick because LeBron might be a package deal with that? Will it not affect it as much?
And that's kind of another question too, like how good is Bronny really? Like if he was not related to LeBron, if his name wasn't LeBron James Jr., how much attention would he be getting from NBA teams? It's hard to know.
Still think he would be drafted, going to USC next year. Seen him on some lists, kind of near JP Estrella, who of course played basketball for South Portland. So it's kind of cool to see them up there on some lists.
Yep.
One minute, 20 seconds to go in this game. If you're still sticking with us, thank you. Once again, we want to plug our broadcast for tomorrow, 1 p.m. The boys lacrosse team will play Gorham in the Class A quarterfinals right here at Hill Stadium. Tune in on TA's Facebook or YouTube for that game. GA boys lacrosse team played Gorham earlier in the season. They won 19-9. So on paper, it looks like they're the better team. But as Josh Pulsifer mentioned on Trojan Talk yesterday, their new interim head coach, who took over in the past couple weeks, was a graduate of TA, and I would assume played lacrosse for Coach Hersey. Zach Bryant is his name. That's an interesting little storyline for tomorrow. .15 seconds left, and Marshwood will hold the ball. They will advance to likely play the Kennebunk Rams for the right to go to Fitzpatrick Stadium in the state championship game. And a great season for the TA Girls Lacrosse program. And that'll do it. Marshwood with a dominant 10-3 win, eliminating Thornton Academy on their home turf. And the girls lacrosse season will come to an end. Great job by Coach Agresti, Coach Davies, and their players all season long. Morgan Bolduck, Amelia Benoit, Emma Bussenalt, and all the seniors on this TA team. Great effort all year long. Troy, any final thoughts as we wrap up?
Yeah, just seniors, congratulations on a good season, on a good career, and good luck on your next endeavors.
Thornton Academy loses by a score of 10-3. Thank you for joining us here on TATV. For Josh Pulsifer, Troy Bulldog, I'm Cole Purvis. Have a great afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. for boys lacrosse versus Gorham.